Well, hello, hi, it is me. It is I, small town TD, or Khadi, on these ever internet. I'm back. Hello, yalla. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let your people know about me. One of you is giggling because she forgot to say that the past few videos, because I do be forgetting to say that. I just get straight into it. What's going on with me today? I've come on here with pimple patches before. What are they for? Pimples? Because I have those. And taking them off will just not serve us. I need to stop playing with rings because right now I wanted to do that and then it got stuck on the knuckle. It's because I'm wearing two on here. This one usually goes here. Yeah. But anyway, I was supposed to do a hot topics a week ago. Well over a week ago, like the other week. And I actually came up with some of the topics or went through social media with a friend of mine on the phone. It was last week. Nah, it was Cardi B, Gorgeous Mbali, and the issues with her business, and Pretty Punishment. Like that concept, hilarious to me. But then one of you left a comment on my last video asking that if I'm in the mood or feeling up to it, can I talk about the Nicki Minaj and Cardi B thing? Wiseman Mncube got married to a Tonga lady. There was a lot of stuff happening on the internet around that. And then the Zimincile challenge, which is, okay. So we'll pick at a bit of this and a bit of that. And then when I feel like the videos at a good length, that would be our hot topics, what's hot on the blog, okay? What's been happening in the blogs or happening in social media that we want to just sit down and have a little gossip about, a little cackle about, and what have you. Somebody also asked me on my shorts. I've been posting shorts of what I eat because I've told you guys that I'm on a weight loss journey and stuff. So somebody asked, how do I manage to get 10K steps a day? And I took a deep breath because is that the answer I want to give? I find that being under and or unemployed is helpful with this particular challenge. But to be more helpful, it's about 1,000 steps per 10 minutes. And you probably just need 7 or 8. 10 is just that number that they decided to sell us to get us to buy stuff and blah, blah, blah. You probably need about 7 or 8. But I make 10K steps throughout the week, like on weekdays, because I don't got shit going on and I'm sad and depressed, and it helps me to get out of bed and to look forward to doing something. That's how. If you're somebody who gets up and you go to a job, if you can stand up and walk around for like 10 minutes at your job, like every hour or so, stretch your legs for 10 minutes, not too brisk, like you should get 1,000 steps, right? Yeah, it's about a total of 2 hours, and because I don't have good pace on me. But you can get your 5K steps in an hour if you're just pacing back and forth in the house watching an episode of something that you like after work, and that 5K steps, if you're not like a very active person, it's gonna make like a difference. You're gonna see it. 5K, it's gonna make a difference. But yeah, so that I think I that's the one thing I've been dying to address, the steps thing. But let's get into what happened in terms of the hot topics. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B went at it, you guys. Like it got vile. I knew when it started that the idea that they could keep their children out of it, crazy. It's not gonna happen. They wanna draw blood and the kids are gonna get involved, and sure enough they did. Cardi B dropped her album, her second album, and it's doing better than, the so-called Queen. She wanted it to flop, it looks like to me. This reaction is of somebody who was expecting it to drop and can't stand to see another woman be on top because she is a fucking pick-me. It is important to note that I'm not a Barb, but I'm also not like a Cardi stan. So it's not really like, I have a side or whatever, but I've especially grown to find Nicki Minaj to be very icky. Like, outside of, oh my God, how do I feel about her music? Is she talented? The lyricism of it or whatever. I find her personality, her inciting, her little like sheep of stands to go after people and things like that. I find her icky. She's just so fucking icky to me. She's embarrassing. She's cringe to consume, to watch. Like when she's doing these antics, that is. It's one of those things where you're like, can I, like the thing, she's the thing we look at as women inching closer to where she is, as is the nature of things, because we don't want to be ageist. If you are blessed enough, you also get to be in your early 40s like she is. But we look to her and we're like, that's that shit I don't want to be. That is that shit I don't want to be. I don't want to be that woman that doesn't know how to live in her current reality in terms of being a woman and allowing spaces that I was allowed to occupy at a particular age to now be occupied by other young women moving in the same space as I did, or hold a similar position that I held for a period, because nothing is forever. I find this woman very icky. We can talk back and forth about who's wrong, how much, oh my God, Cardi went a little too far. She kind of accused her of being on drugs. This doesn't fight. If this bitter ass old bitch doesn't stop what she's doing and decide to start tweeting shit about this lady who's just dropped an album. It doesn't happen. That's the point. If we go back to the Hennessy of it, it doesn't happen. I'm rather also embarrassed when I was watching the back and forth of the stands online. I'd open some of the profiles. I'm like, you are grown. You are too grown to still be here, going bar for bar on the internet over this lady that doesn't know you, because she's crashing out, because she's not, like, possibly in a good place in her life, and she doesn't know how to be anything but a fucking hater. And you stop what you're doing to validate this behavior. It's disgusting. You need to know, and it's not even, the commenter had said that they would like for me to address the energy of older women dealing, or older women struggling to, or the bullying of much younger women that are much younger than them. It's a bit more layered than that, with a Nicki Minaj occupying a hip-hop space, as it were, the misogyny that runs rampant in that space, the way in which that space had operated really since inception. Hip-hop is not that old, like, it's still very much a baby. So, like most things in music, like most things that have any kind of power, and a power element to them, men will wield that power in a way that is often harmful to people who want to engage in that space, and oftentimes women who want to engage in that space. To the lyrics, but also to the gatekeeping of industry, where we knew that back in the day, they would only make space for one woman to occupy a spot, right? And they would make like, no other girl can spit, and no other girl has a good flow, and this and that, and so they would carve out that space. And if another girl inches her way in, again through another gatekeeper, usually a man, a producer, things like that, if another girl was able to inch her way that way, then they'll pit them against each other, right? Further, like, because the societal structure is already there to say we can't get along, right? Like, we as women are constantly in competition for, in this case, the affection and adoration of the fan base, but also the gatekeepers are men. So when it's said and done, the friction that is like fabricated and created between a Foxy Brown and a Lil Kim is very much rooted in the fact that the men behind them are creating the idea that they can't both exist at the same time. Like it's so impossible for women to like two rappers who happen to be other women at the exact same time. Like, what are we even fucking on about? Like, of course I can like a Rihanna song and a Beyonce song at the fucking same time. What are we on about? It's not real. It's not real. And when we've now moved into a space thanks to the girls being able to launch their careers through really somewhat an equalizer, even though those gatekeeping things are still in place and the men are still very much in charge of that, they can get a start just by virality. They can get a start off of growing their own organic kind of audience, their own little cult followings of people following them, and from their social medias and things like that, and them growing that into a career. It's taken that power a little bit away. And I think I was talking about this when I was talking about everybody had such a problem with WAP, but look him at some of the raunchiest lyrics, right? And it was fine. It was fine because they somehow still felt like this is still a performance for the male gaze. It was okay. But now the girls are singing it, and the tone and the wording around it, there's a shift there. And I'm not necessarily saying that being promiscuous or presenting an image of being promiscuous is liberation. We shouldn't confuse that. But the truth of the matter is that's what the pussy rap is about right now, right? Men don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear it because then it's like these girls like have understood that they pussy's the power. They're now wielding it as the power that it is, talking about it from a sense of having ownership about it, right? Like, it's you deciding to do it, right? And they don't like that. And a woman like Nicki Minaj, who came up at the tail end of the industry, still being very much only one bitch can stand at a time, she's from that school of thought, and she's a fucking pick-me of note, right? She comes from that family with that dynamic of the brother allegedly being a rapist, the dad being the way that he is and what have you. She comes from that school of thought. You see how she partners as well. Like riffraffs, low lives. It speaks to the fact that no matter how much this woman has ascended in terms of her career, how well she's done, she doesn't really see herself like that. And it's reflecting in her dating choices, her partnering choices. You made a baby with somebody who was formerly incarcerated for very violent acts, one of them being a sexual assault. And you're out here allegedly threatening the person whom he did this to, that he assaulted, because that's just the type of pick-me bitch that you are. So I'm not shocked. None of this shocks me that she can't understand why a girl came into the space, and I wouldn't say Cardi came in disrespectful, but she only fucks with the girls that come into the space and they want to pay that kiss the ring shit, right? Because again, the patriarchy princess of it all, you love a hierarchy, right? And what's crazy about it to me is that whether or not she's I'm just gonna be for the girls who are coming in, the hierarchy is simply set because she came in first. She doesn't have to defend her position. That's how much it's not a competition. The girls simply are coming in. They can't hold a flame to what she's been able to accomplish so far. But again, the low self-esteem, she can't even recognize the different levels that I'm here and this other little bitch is here just trying to inch her way in. And because I had, these gatekeepers keeping other bitches out, I was able to have a longer period to reign, as it were, and to do a lot more. These other girls are fighting for space in terms of airtime, the attention of an audience, blah, blah, blah. There's more of them because of social media who are able to create that, and then they're vying for everybody's trying to get their little thing. They no longer have that advantage that she had to have the Wheezes of the world and everybody not put the other girls on because they were trying to make her this beacon, this queen bee, if you would like. Most of them won't be able to catch up simply because the landscape does not allow for it. Most of them won't be able to catch up, but she doesn't even, she can't even stop to realize that I don't need to be beefing with these young women. I don't need to be, there's no spot to defend. It's gonna be a harder summit for them, in as much as, yeah, they with more exposure now, they whatever, it's harder to keep songs on the charts now. It's just, the game is a little different, in as much as it's good that the girls can now create their own platforms and all of that stuff. And eventually, yes, you gotta get on a label and have to deal with all of those things that are happening. But you can build an audience without the co-signing of a Lil Wayne, right? You can make yourself into a brand without having to be the only girl, the rose among the thorns of a young money. It can happen now for you. And as much as that's true, it still has its pitfalls. Like that's true. Those things are not gonna automatically go away and fall away. They'll still be there. They'll still hold like quite a lot of power. But homegirl is just your queen. Not even my homegirl. Your so-called queen. Imagine your queen is this dance. Your queen just can't sit with it. Like, I don't understand the reasoning of, first of all, you gave this girl so much praise. Like, you aided her roll out. And if the whole point is that I don't want her to catch up to my sales. I don't want her numbers to ever look similar to my second album. Like, when they put them side to side. But you're the one who now makes me want to go listen to it because you're so fucking praised. I'm like, I want to hear why she's so upset. I want to hear how fucking good it is because why is she so pissed? Because even the takes, there's the one take where she talks about her bars being whack and nursery rhymes. I think there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or whatever. She comes for that, but then there just isn't enough to chew on in terms of her reads regarding the actual material, like the actual album. So now I'm like, oh, I want to go listen. It must actually be nice. It must be nice because that's the only take that you had out of this before you decided that you're just going to call her kid ugly. And then, guys, I know about going first, me, in my own little space, however micro my existence is, in my own little area, my own little town, my own little township, if you would like. I know about going first. The thing is, Nicki didn't even go first. Others, went before her and created personas that she got to bite off of and stuff. And it's crazy to me, the beef that her and Lil Kim also ended up having because of all of these other factors as well. How she's now turning into that. But they say if you live long enough, you will become the monster. That's what they say. That's really my take on that. And in terms of going first, like it's very on a small scale for me. But I remember when I started baking in the space, like in literally my actual physical environment, my small town, the townships around the town and stuff, people were making a certain style of cakes. And I found the mediums that they were working with to decorate the cakes to be very stifling. And I could see the trend of the buttercream cakes and the drip cakes and things like that coming in. And that's what I was drawn to. But living in such a so-called rural province, but so far from things, trends reach us a bit late sometimes. That period is shortened quite a bit because of social media and how we're just constantly seeing the same things at the same time, right? But it was still a little bit of that people get used to something and they know it to be this thing. Like people are still obsessed with asking around wedding season, do you do fruitcake? That shit is disgusting, my babe. No, I fucking don't. Okay, I respect myself. And like, because they heard when they were growing up that fruitcake is something that you do. I used to get asked like, why I don't do fondant cakes. I fucking don't, girl. That's why I don't do them. And then now that I had to do the educating and create a market for an appetite of buttercream cakes, I had to do that. Nobody was doing it where I'm living. And I'm not even trying to, I understand buttercream cakes were a thing in the 70s. They weren't a thing fucking right now, bitch. Okay? And I'm not talking about like store-bought cream cakes and stuff. I'm talking about bespoke cakes, like designer cakes, as it were. Nobody was doing that shit in my area. Everybody was still giving, to a point that when I started getting some orders around it, the other bakers were asking me, how are you selling the idea of these cakes to your potential customers? Because I want to move this way. Those cakes are looking old and dated, the designs they keep asking for. But I'm having a hard time getting. I went through the growing pains of like trying to, I was the one who now had to create, like, first of all, the educating. When you're growing a clientele, so to speak, and you're selling something that people are not all the way completely unfamiliar with, but they're familiar with it in a very particular way, and they are resistant to change, that shit is hard, explaining things to people who've grown used to something being a certain way. It's hard. I've switched to ganache now, and I'm having to sell them on ganache because of how hot it gets. Again, I'm having to do all of that, and then other people just come in behind me and the space is already there. They hit the ground running. They get to make the cakes without having to do too much talking around it. What am I going to do now? Turn around and be like, oh, but I'm the one who started making the style of cake around this area. Like, I own the style of cakes. Like, you don't own rap, bitch. Like, you don't, girl. You also don't own pussy rap. Like, you fucking don't. You don't own looking cute and raunchy and being about these bars. You just fucking don't. Like, people get to come in and do their version of the thing that you may feel you pioneered. But nothing is even you under the sun. Like, calm the fuck down. Quit taking yourself so fucking seriously. I don't get it. Like, I want to get it, but I don't get it. I think that lady is a fucking loser. That's what I think about her. And I've thought that about her for like forever. Some of y'all think she's cute, she's funny, but talent does blind and so does beauty. She's a gorgeous woman. These are both gorgeous women and talented, right? She really, though, can't stand the fact that people like Cardi. Like the people who fuck with Nicki are bobs. The people who fuck with Cardi are people, and they're not necessarily fans of her music. She's personable. She is quite delightful. People receive her and they giddy, and I like her personality, and I'm not even like a Cardi stan. Do you understand? But I think she's funny. She can be very problematic with the things she says and things like that. Whereas, like, Nicki is not that. Like, I think people actually dread dealing with her. So that likability as well would bug somebody who's not, like, naturally likable. I say this as a person who, I know I'm not, like, palatable for most people. Guys, my throat hurts. I've got, like, a green tea and a ginger root tea. And I think I'm going to have to suckle on a lozenge. In this drawer, actually, I saw a couple. That's why my breakouts won't go away. Because even the tiniest bit of sugar. Can you imagine? Guys, I actually think something is wrong with me. Like, in terms of my throat, hey? Oh. But I can't find it. You know when you go to the doctor, all of a sudden you're dying. If you don't go, then you just have this issue where you sometimes need to clear your throat. It's the moment you go, then you got stage 4 something, bitch. Stay your ass home. But anyway, I'll have that, like, when I turn this off, because then it's going to be annoying as I'm suckling and trying to talk to you guys. That's all I really had to say about that. That lady's a loser. She's been a loser for a while. That's not even your peer like that. You comparing yourself to her in terms of accolades within the space that you guys occupy as, you know, women in rap, as it doesn't make sense. She just hasn't put in that kind of time. You came out first, man. That's it. You came out first. You're still that girl. Nobody's taking away from what you've done except you. That's all I had to say about that. Who is this? That Wiseman Mncube. Guys, because me and Local Productions have our own going beef, I didn't know this man. I gotta say that first. So I went to look him up, what he's up to, what he's been into. I'm like, okay, a good looking man. So, you know, this is the guy of the moment. The girls look at this guy and they're like, oh, if I could get in here. The girls are probably looking at him and stuff. Was I shocked at the blatant tribalism as a girl from Limpopo who's been around Tonga speaking people? most, if not all my life, because schools and things like that, a girl belonging to a very small tribe in the middle of nowhere in Limpopo. Was I shocked? No. No, I wasn't. I just wasn't. I'd say my granddad, because we don't really call people our great uncles and things like that, but basically my mom's uncle. So my maternal grandmother's baby brother. He's the only one, the only surviving sibling of my grandma, my maternal grandma. He had 3 daughters. He had more kids than that, but 3 daughters. My mom always tells the story of how give a baby by my mom's, right? And my mom always tells the story of how Malumi Wasanyaki, like his daughters marrying Machangan. That's the term. That is the term that they use. When I tell you all 3 my mom's cousins, all 3 my aunts married Tsonga men, nice men who've been nice to them. All 3. So my mom is always like, I wonder, or like, because he gets on fine with them. This is my granddad, that is. He gets, but my mom is like, he was so adamant. Like we knew this is not something that he really wants. Which obviously he would have been a lot more vocal about because of the area that they live in, where there's quite a huge population of this tribe and that tribe, like Bapedili, Matonga, like they are quite a few, like it's Palabora, like if you know. But so it's like I don't think he would have a need to address it if they weren't living in a particular area, but he really wanted to deter his daughters from having to deal with them. I, living in this province, have heard the things people say about even I've explained to you guys that all the boys I had crushes on in school were Tonga boys because I found them to be so smart and hardworking. Like it's an ethos of the tribe, really. Like if I was from the outside looking in and stuff. And the boys from Tumulobedu, so the boys from my tribe were always just like fucking losers to me. And they still on some loser shit. Like if I'm being completely honest. But like I would hear people all the time say things like, oh, they're loud, the music is loud. So the idea that I'm shocked that people are tribalist in this way, where they look down on this very particular tribe, is a lie from the pit of hell. It's a lie that people want to tell themselves because they would need to confront these elements of tribalism and othering of Africanness that they have in their own homes, like I just had to own right now. Right? If I have that in my home, you are telling me as like Mupedi or Mulobedu, or you haven't heard people in and around you say this. So you're so shocked now that the Zulus who love to use Mashangani as an insult are saying the shit that they're saying about this man choosing to marry this lady. Who's lying? Somebody's fucking lying. Somebody's lying. Who's this? Joe Mafela? Was he Venda or Kimo Venda or Kimo Tonga Muto? Joe Mafela, the late Doom was good, he's nice. I saw a post also about somebody saying he tried so hard to distance himself from his roots. And associating with his tribe and the shame, and people saying, I wonder why he felt so much shame. I've said to you guys as well around the issues and the things I experienced around belonging to the tribe that I was born into as well. And the shame and that exists around being othered, and you internalizing that you must then be lesser, and people feeling emboldened to perpetuate the idea that you are lesser because they have a stamp of approval from whiteness. We can't ever get away from that. Zuliness, its validity is also further emboldened by the stamp of approval and acknowledgement by the white authorities, if you would like. I understand all of that Shaka Zulu shit. It's cute. It's nice. It's a great thing. And all of that stuff. But it creates a situation where people really do think they're better than the other Africans around them because they have this recognition and this stamp of approval from the master. So I'm not shocked that there's Zulu women who feel like they're better than her or they would have done better than her. The languages, first of all, are fucking cousins. Let's talk about how if you are a Zulu person who marries a Tonga speaking person, that switch is not going to be hard for you. I know them. I was recently at a party, maybe over a year ago now, so not that recently, with a Zulu girl who married it, and she's all these bunch of kids with him and stuff, and they have a cute little life. And she's like, oh no, that switch wasn't that hard to me. I called the Tonga very easy. I'm struggling. She's struggling like Kilobelu in the area and stuff because it's spoken in the area and stuff. That's the thing that she's having the hardest time with. Spedili Kilobelu. But she had no problem there. It's always trying to other the thing that you're most like, other the people you're most like, put so much distance or fabricate distance between the tribe that you're most like in order to create a hierarchy where you think you're better. It's always that shit. We have that problem as well. I don't give a shit what anybody's gonna say. They love to other, they love to create. I can say it. My mom's side of the family moves like that. I don't even know why I had to go that fucking far. They love the trying to create the distance of, and it's whiteness. It's white supremacy at its core and wanting to constantly establish a hierarchy and have others lower. So that you, like somehow that makes your existence more valid. I don't get it. Like it's something that I simply cannot process. Akhetha wena sesi warukhuluma. Akhetha wena nodwana khayukhetha. Abakasilibeke kamoka anyway. Zidiwe guy. Bakasikhono libeke kamoka banshapu. You don't even know the first thing about that man. You know the roles that he plays and you're in love with him. You don't even know the character of this man. But there you were deep in your tribalism bag, talking shit. Talking the most shit. The second take that I heard around this shit outside of all that like tribalism shit is the issue that he's sort of like in his prime. He can get like whomever he wants to get right now. Type of thing. Why would he settle down? I understand that he lost his first wife 8 years ago, so this is his second marriage. I think she passed on or whatever. So everybody's talking about, oh, why would he tie himself down and shit like that? Because men don't believe in this institution being a fucking achievement. In their minds, it's like, oh my God, you could have all the bitches. This take wasn't everywhere like I was seeing, more than I was seeing the why would he marry a Tonga girl. Do you fucking care if it's not a person this publicly accomplished who's marrying outside the tribe? Do you care? Y'all don't even have this level of energy for Musa marrying fucking Liesel. You don't have this energy. So the other thing was you guys talking about how she's just not a looker. Right? Mind you, this lady's fucking gorgeous. Like, I don't know what the fuck everybody's on about. She's not hot enough for him. Like, there's an idea. There's an aesthetic of a woman you wanted to see next to him. And not only is she not Zulu, but she's also not, like, looking like the aesthetic that you feel a man in his position should be getting. I used to be... Were we friends, or was he always trying to... I thought we were friends, but I think he was always waiting for a moment to pounce in hindsight because the friendship just ended out of the blue. He was obsessed with the fact that I have this friend from a prominent family and that friend happens to be gay. I mean, it would come, everybody knows we're friends, right? Everybody knows I'm friends with this person. But I'd be chilling with this other dude. And I don't know why. I don't know how. He was so obsessed with it. I'm like, oh, you want to fuck my boy. You want to fuck my boy real bad. You're not even his type. You didn't even fucking fuck you. He would not look your direction. okay? You, my dear sir, aren't anything enough. You're not cute enough, you're not tall enough, you're not rich enough, you're not smart enough, you're just not enough. Okay? My boy wouldn't look so obsessed with the fact that why would he be gay? First of all, that's its own thing. I can't fucking deal with the Zulus and the obsession with what the men are doing sexually. He was so obsessed with the fact that he's like, in the position that he's in, he could be getting any girl that he wants. Basically just running through girls, right? Like not respect, like getting them any which direction, like being very envious of the position that that guy was born into and thinking, oh, if I was in his position. But no, he's just out here liking boys and shit. And my thing is, chances are, if you were born in that same position, but you were still this person, you still weren't gonna get played because you ain't shit. Like, it's really that simple. And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with this? Like, why are you, because I would literally want to understand, like, okay, well, you're gonna have to stop bringing my friend up, like, because I don't, you never have a real answer for it. You're just like, yeah, he could be getting any girl. I'm like, why does it matter? Why does it matter? But other men live vicariously through other men. So that's what's happening here. The anger to say, so they know that they settle down once the machinery stops working and the guap is thinned. They know it. And they advocate for it. Here's a man at the height, really, let's not cap him, but he's acting great, he's getting the roles, people know his name, he's somewhat a household name in this country, and they feel like a woman shouldn't have him in his so-called prime. He should be playing the field and doing whatever, and then when, you know, and all types of shit, then he should be settling down, broken down and shit. Are you okay? Are you right? That's all. That's all I had to say about. But the tribalism, the tribalism shit is not shocking to me, and it will never be shocking. And we will keep having like iterations of this conversation because of how much it's affected me and how I continue to see it affect people. That's why, like, as I've gotten older and I walk into spaces, I don't even have the type of tongue that I can't grasp languages easily. It should have happened earlier for me. I'm one of those people, like, it's not flexible, it's not fluid, it don't do, girl. I wish it did, right? But it doesn't. But when I walk into space and you're gonna address me in your language, if I don't explain to you that, oh, I don't speak your language, can we whatever, I'll just speak my own language. Especially having walked around spaces that I felt were my spaces and not mine and mine alone. But I too had as much right to exist in the space, yet I found myself in Kizipirigeja doing all types of things to my tongue in order to be like received a bit more palatable by the tribe most closest to me that acts like we're not. I'm enough with that fucking shit. Okay? I'm enough with that. Rwaba. Okay? Gwaba skwa uba gwaba klobedi. Jawe na o dusai na odina ai. Exhib. Like exhib. What was the last thing? Oh my god. Zimincile, guys. The Zimincile chat, guys, I thought I was the one who didn't understand. Because obviously I don't speak, but like I was like, oh, it's the shopper girls. Like they're having their moment in the sun. It's their 15 minutes. The shopper girls are getting to show us, you know, their backsides and being confident about the fact that, you know what, this is. Like, this is, this I'm built, is whatever. You know, we cackle at the girls who are built like that, some of us anyway and stuff. That's why, you guys, I've always taken great issue with this idea of wanting to promote this idea that South African women are built this very particular baddie aesthetic way, right? Like this, oh, we all have these shelf booties. And I think I've said this to you guys in some videos to say, South African women, like all women, come in all like shapes and sizes. We do. And I think for me, it came from obviously my body image issues and not fitting the image. That said, I've got a booty, right? But it's not coming with a flat stomach. So mine is not as celebrated. It's not coming with small thighs. So it's not as celebrated. It's not on a light-skinned body. So it's not as celebrated. And it's you can tack all type of shit onto it and stuff. And so when I saw the girls just saying, hey man, this is me, I was like, this is so much fun. Like people exist. Women shaped in all types of ways exist. We are them, we live with them, they're our sisters, all like we are. And then my booty is my personalities, couldn't sit it out. That's when I was like, maybe I didn't understand the challenge, because it's like, okay, the strappers, and then I started seeing booties. I was like, every challenge, every other second week is about a booty, booty, but cheeks. Shout out to the Boondocks and shit. I was like, why are you here? Why can't you not have this be about you for 3 seconds? I legit thought I was starting to get confused. And then I checked, and then somebody's like, I was like, oh, they're also seeing it. I'm not the only one. But they can't sit shit out. Lidile everything. Do you remember the seating challenge had me like, now I have to go watch Cindy Makatini's seating thing again, because that was my favorite one. Had me in a chokehold, bitch. Had me. You have your mom. You have the one where you stand on the side and then you are a P. You're the letter P, because you know you're dragging a wagon. Your booty go. You got everything. Why can't you just let the strapper girls have this moment? Like, I wonder what happens when these types of things they become your personality. And it's easier for them to become your personality in today's day and age, because people are building careers off of having booties, right? So I see how it's happening, but it's like, I'm sorry, read the fucking room. We get it. We get it. We get it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know some people are like, oh, I won't degrade myself like that. None of these women were even like in compromising positions in terms of like, perhaps maybe, more modest people feeling like they're not wearing enough clothes. A lot of them were just in their regular clothes, dressed outside, and then they just decided to participate. So I didn't understand why somebody's like, I won't do that. I suppose it's because, let me not say that. I suppose it's because we're existing in a world where the booty is celebrated, that you don't think turning around and showing people your lack thereof is going to get you any kind of affirmation or applauses and stuff. It is really making fun of yourself, I suppose, and to other people, they feel like you've probably been bullied about it or made fun about it in a country like ours where booty is like, like it's a thing. Like the strapper girls have been dealing with forever, and I think it's a real struggle for a lot of them. This is why we see the girls laying on the tables and getting the BBLs and stuff. It's not a celebrated figure. It's not a celebrated frame in society, but especially our society as well. But that's why I'm like, perhaps I'm not the right person to speak on it in terms of saying things like, it's gonna come off a bit patronizing because I'm not built the same. But because all of this, or all of the Ana Marago, Ana whatever, it's always in relation to us fighting for the attention and affection of men, us doing this to each other because it's a konya ka ke monna mofeyo a sena marago, odieng. And I just want to let you know that all the bitches I know that are built, that have the Zimincile shape, are doing great in the male department, if that is helpful, because that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about, But anyway, that's all. I guess I'll do the other one. I feel tired. My throat hurts. I thought I was gonna record both at a go, but I don't know if I have it in me. And I still need to record Married at First Sight, which I'll probably do in the next 2 days. I watched it yesterday. It's Tuesday that I sat down for this review. I watched it last night and woo, bye yalla.